Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. Got a game review for you today. This is Mafia Definitive Edition. Mafia is an 18-year-old open world action game in which you get to pretend that you are a mobster, a gangster, with a heater, with a Tommy gun, perforating the enemy. I don't know if that's what you'd say. I don't know if that's like at all legit. So anyway, my friend owned a copy of the original Mafia game back in 2002. He loved that game. I never really played it, to be honest with you. I've played a little bit of Mafia 3, and I haven't even touched Mafia 2, and I understand that they made definitive editions of both of those, and they were both really terrible. And I kind of knew that going into my experience here with Mafia. But this is a different story than those two games. This is a much better adaptation to modern gaming principles, modern gaming technology. The visuals are incredible in this game. I don't know if you can see the lighting effects here. It's kind of hard to see because this footage is not in HDR. If you can play it in HDR, I totally would because it's just gorgeous, man. The lighting effects, the lightning that occurs on one specific level. It's this level right here, not to spoil anything. It's just, it's really, really good, but the gameplay itself is a little bit hampered by it being an 18-year-old game. Now, it doesn't play poorly by any stretch of the imagination. I was never in a position during combat where I was being hampered by the actual mechanics or the controls. But my only thing is that the cover system, it should be more point to point, I feel like, in order to actually bring it up to modern standards. And then, there might be some purists out there, some Mafia purists, I don't know if that exists, but there might be, who say, no, you got to keep it the way it was in 2002. My only point is that it does get a little bit frustrating trying to negotiate some of these turns without like a valid point to point cover system. And you really do have to take cover. It's a cover system anyway. It's not like it isn't a cover system. See, look at that lightning. Did you see that lightning just rent the night and like lit up everything? It's very, very, very cool. The other thing I wanted to talk about, apart from the gameplay's fine. Again, it's not broken. It feels good. I just wish that it was more modern as far as a cover system goes and a weapon system goes. But one thing that absolutely they nailed with this upgrade, with this remaster, is the cars. Look at this car. Look at it, just speeding around corners and fishtailing and stuff. And they've done something really, really cool here, and that's offer a simulation mode, and rather than just a regular driving mode, the simulation mode makes it more like an actual car racing game, And you can also opt for a manual transmission, which is pretty cool. That's how I like to drive in standard racing games, with a manual transmission. As much simulation as I can possibly do without flying off the road. But look at these old jalopies and this beautiful skyline of this city, Lost Heaven, which is basically Chicago, 1930, whatever. These cars look great. These cars move great. They sound great. The horns go auga, which is just what you want to hear when you're trying to get people out of the way. The detail itself in the city is wonderful. They've built this city from the ground up. They've built everything from the ground up. And if you didn't know it was an 18-year-old game, you might be confused. Now, here's one thing that's a little odd about this game. I wouldn't call it odd because they were very slavish to the story structure. All the dialogue and all the acting and all the motion capture and stuff is brand new, but the story, as I understand it, again, I'm not like an expert on this game or anything. My friend was, but not me. Is basically the same. And that being said, it's a little, it's to my taste, for such a big open world, but it's a big, beautiful open world. because you got the city, but it's not just the city. It's like the surrounding farmland, and there's an airport, and there's a hotel. Like there's all sorts of stuff out in the boonies, right? And you go out there, but I feel like the game is not long enough and is not branching enough to really exploit and show to the full potential the quality of this map, the size of this map, the beauty of this map. I feel like as I was playing through, I was really seeing the same things kind of again and again and again. Definitely Chinatown, you know? Like definitely under the L train and definitely going into Chinatown and that's some classic mobster movie stuff. Like I understand that, and I do think that maybe they should have taken a cue from some other recent remasters, most notably Final Fantasy VII Remaster, and added some new stuff. They could have padded this out. They could have added all sorts of side quests. They could have added RPG functionality, yeah? Leveling up of some sort. Maybe not. They could have added a monetary system, because there's no money. Like you can also put the cops on simulation. Personally, I don't want to drive around that way. Not even in real life. And so they'll arrest you, they'll pull you over for traffic violations, and they'll ticket you. But there's no money, there's no consequences, there's no paying for it. So I feel like there was room to expand on the original more than just visually, because visually it really was. It's beautiful. It's one of the best looking games I've played in a few months, probably. But anyway, all that aside, apart from the fact that I feel like they could have expanded it, the combat system could have been updated to a little bit more modern standards. Even all of that, this is a great remaster. This is a great game. If you've never played the original, like I hadn't really, I would totally recommend this. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to give Mafia Definitive Edition an 8 out of 10. I feel like that's fair. Hey, scram you! Get out of... I can't do those voices. Those are beyond me. But anyway, you might have fun being a mobster. So that's it. Jeff Bowles Central. Blah, 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 blah. Mafia, Mafia, Mafia. One last thing, everybody. Do me a favor. Check out Love Madness Demon on Amazon. This is my latest book. It's a novel. Yeah. Like a story time. This is the worst ad ever. It's about the demonic and the angelic and romance and death and betrayal and past lives and all that stuff and hell fighting heaven and all sorts of cool stuff. You'll love it. Oh, it's available on Amazon. Go buy it, because if you don't, I won't feel validated as an artist, and nobody wants to be an invalidated artist!